Good morning. Thank you all for joining. We will get started in just a moment as we clear the waiting room. As a reminder, when you are entering from the waiting room, please do remain on mute unless or until you are testifying before the board. Good morning. This is a hearing before the licensing board for the city of Boston. Today is Tuesday, June 3rd, 2025. Today's hearing is being held pursuant to temporary amendments to the open meeting law. That is what allows us to meet virtually. Today's hearing is being recorded and will be posted to the City of Boston's website. We are joined this morning by Commissioners Liam Curran and Kiana Saxon. Please ensure that your audio and visuals are working properly if you will be providing testimony before the board this morning. I'll call each item in the order that it appears on this morning's agenda. We'll then ask who is present on behalf of the licensee, who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department, and whether there are any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify. I will then swear in all parties. After that, the police report will be read into the record, and the licensee or their representative will have the opportunity to make a brief statement, followed by questions by the commissioners. All testimony will be limited only to those individuals with firsthand personal knowledge of the alleged incident. Begin with the first item on this morning's agenda, calling item number 1, Sullivan's Saloon, LLC, doing business as Sullivan's Tap, located at 168 Canal Street. Date of the incident, February 3rd, 2025. Assault and battery on patron in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A, and refusal to cooperate with police in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.10A and B. Who's present on behalf of the licensee?
Good morning, Michael Ford, representing the licensee, and with me is Dana Rosenblatt, the owner, and Gaetano Di Gaetano, the front door security.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us. I don't believe I see, was it Mr. Rosenblatt you said?
I was just on the phone with him. I think he has the link.
Okay, while we are waiting. Oh, is that Mr. Rosenblatt? Did you just come on screen as iPhone? I guess you. Great. Thank you. I'll ask you to unmute in just a moment so that we can swear you in. Who's present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Sergeant Timothy Troll.
And are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning?
Detective Hurl is here also.
Yes, I'm here, Detective Hurl.
Thank you very much. I do see you. With that, can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Good.
Yes.
Thank you. Who will be reading the police report into the record? For the board? Would that be Detective Hurl? Would that be Sergeant?
Lieutenant Detective Troy, I can read the police report if necessary.
Thank you, Lieutenant Troy. You have not been sworn in. Could you also please
No.
raise your hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may please proceed.
Reading from a report written by Officer Goodwin, reads as follows. At about 11:50 p.m. on Monday, February 3rd, 2025, Officer Goodwin, while working a traffic post outside the TD Garden, observed two individuals arguing out front of Sullivan's Tap, 168 Canal Street, Boston. Officer Goodwin observed two individuals arguing and left his traffic post to separate the parties. Officer Goodwin observed the suspect, described as a black male, tall, slim, wearing a black jacket and black pants, who was apparently a bouncer at Sullivan's Tap, telling the victim, Aidan McKee, to leave the area of the establishment. As Officer Goodwin approached the parties, the suspect, allegedly the bouncer, hit the victim in the face. Officer Goodwin escorted the suspect away from the incident and went back to check on the status of the victim, Mr. McKee. Officer Goodwin observed no visible injuries to the victim. The victim stated he had gotten into a verbal altercation with the suspect over not being allowed to enter the bar. Officer Goodwin offered medical attention to the victim, which he declined, and explained to the victim the process of pressing charges against the suspect, which the victim declined, and said he just wanted the incident documented. Officer Goodwin notified the Alpha 902 Sergeant Troll due to the establishment being a licensed premise. Officer Goodwin was told to return to the establishment to get the suspect's information, but all employees of the establishment refused to cooperate. That's the extent of the initial police report. There's 2 supplements, I believe. Sergeant Troll is here. He can read.
Yes, thank you, Lieutenant. The supplement that I wrote is after receiving the information of what occurred on this premise, 168 Canal Street, Sullivan's Tap, at about 10:50 p.m. on February 3rd, from the reporting officer Goodwin. I then instructed the officer to get the suspect's information. When I was informed the suspect and or other employees of the premise did not provide the officer with the bouncer's information, Sergeant Conroy, because we were at shift change, then returned to the premise to speak with management. When Sergeant Conroy arrived, the gates were shut and the business appeared closed. Therefore, I performed a Code 35 license permits inspection during normal business hours on this evening on the 4th of February at around 8:45 p.m. I spoke with an individual who identified himself as the manager, Mr. Derek Maines. I inspected the required licenses and informed him of the incident which occurred the night previous. I then issued him in hand license permits inspection citation number 044995 for being in violation of assault and battery on a patron and refusal to cooperate with police. I was with Officer Walsh, and when I conducted the Code 35, and his body-worn camera was activated.
Thank you, Lieutenant Troy, and thank you, Sergeant Troll. The board does not have any additional reports on this matter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was just the one supplement to that. Detective Earl conducted an investigation.
Thank you for that. I will then ask Attorney Ford, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yeah, just had a couple of questions. I just want to make sure, is Officer Goodwin here?
He is
No, he's not present. He was sent a notice to appear, but he's not here.
Okay, all right. So I'll just direct a few questions. I know you weren't here, Lieutenant Detective Troy.
Sir.
I'm sorry. Perhaps Officer Goodwin is here.
Yes, sir.
Officer Goodwin, if you could please just identify yourself and we'll need to swear you in if you will be providing any testimony.
Officer Michael Goodwin, Boston Police.
Thank you very much. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
Thank you. Attorney Ford, you may continue with your questioning.
Thank you. Good morning, Officer Goodwin. Just a couple of questions here. You were, at the time of the altercation, you were working traffic post, and is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you were focused on the safety of the drivers and the pedestrians, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you observed an altercation. That altercation took place on the sidewalk, is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
And that wasn't in some line or whatnot. It was a little further away to the street from the premises, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And the 2 men, they were yelling at each other, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then when the black male punched the other person, how close were you to were you approaching or?
Yes, sir. I was like 20 to 30 feet as I was approaching because I heard the argument and moved forward.
Okay. And just as you sit here today, I know Lieutenant Detective Troy used the word apparently. Is it fair to say you don't really know if either of these individuals was an employee of the establishment? Is that fair to say?
At the time of the incident, no, sir.
Okay. All right. So did your further investigation after the incident determine that the assailant was an employee?
Yes, sir. After speaking to the victim.
Okay. And so the victim that got hit, you were confident that he knew who the employee roster was for the establishment. Is that fair to say?
I can't speak to that, sir. I know he just tried to enter the building, and that was from what he told me.
Okay. So, but you don't, as you sit here today, you're not 100% certain that individual, the assailant, was an employee, correct?
No, sir. It's only to my knowledge based from the victim's statement.
So, And the victim, of course, wasn't an employee himself, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. And when you did come up, did you end up having a discuss? When you went back and you were sent back there by Detective Trull, you were able to talk to the front door person?
Yes, sir.
All right, and they had a conversation with you, and they were unable to give you the assailant's name and address, correct?
Yes.
It's a little cutout on the video. Is it fair to say yes?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So and do you recognize that a front door person on the camera? I'll represent to you because I know it's difficult going back and forth. I think you're in a cruiser. That it's under the name. If you see the person Gaetano, does he seem familiar to you? He's got a black T-shirt on.
I was just trying to see that image, sir. Where is it located?
So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 to the right. He's waving.
I'm right here, sir.
Yeah, just let him answer, Gaetano. Does he look like the front door person?
Officer Goodwin, you're on mute now. There we go.
Just trying to find that photo.
I'm sorry. I know it's awkward.
Where's the photo located?
It just says Gaetano on the screen, on the Zoom screen. A gentleman with a black T-shirt, black hair, and appears to be black facial hair.
If Gaetano speaks, he should come into visibility for the officer.
Okay.
Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Did it
Okay.
pop in?
Yeah, I
Do
cannot.
you recognize him as the door person?
No.
Okay. And with that, I have no further questions for Officer Goodwin. I don't know if the board does. Okay. And then of course, just for Sergeant Trull, you didn't witness any of the altercation, correct?
I reviewed the body worn camera.
Okay. And the body one camera showed the two people having an altercation, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but you weren't able to determine from the video if either of those people were employees, correct?
I don't recall sitting here today. I believe most of it was recording after the actual incident.
Okay. I have no further questions. And I have some testimony unless the board has questions for Senator Trull. All right, moving forward. Gaetano, could you please introduce yourself to the board?
My name is Gaetano Di Gaetano. I am the head doorman at Sullivan's Tap. I've been working here for about 3 years.
All right, and I just want to draw your attention to February 3rd of this year. Was that a Monday?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I want to bring it to the time of 10:30. What were you specifically doing at the premises?
I was maintaining a line as well as clearing a path inside of the establishment you see behind me to make sure that we had ample room for customers to move around. We were at a capacity at the time.
And do you go in and out while you're administering these duties?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at 10:30, had a line formed outside?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and where did you keep the line?
I keep the line, and I kept the line that night to the left of the establishment, the front door, which is on the Canal Street side, right next to Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay. And again, you would go into about how much time would you spend inside as compared to outside as you went back and forth as part of your job?
2-3 minutes tops. Inside, outside is where I spend most of my time.
And at some time you came outside around this 10:30 period. What did you observe?
I had observed a tall individual, black male, trying to card people in my line.
Was he an employee?
No.
What did you do?
I told him to leave the line immediately. I told him to stop carding people in my line.
And did he leave?
He did.
What was his demeanor?
He seemed like he was out, having fun, drinking and such, but he didn't give me a hard time about leaving. He just had left, and I went back to working my line.
Okay. And that could take about how many more hours did the establishment stay open?
We stayed open until 11:30, if I'm
Okay.
like,
And when you were outside, did you, anytime did you see anyone hit somebody in the face?
no,
Okay. And that, of course, you were going back and forth between the inside and the outside, correct?
correct.
At any point during the evening, did any member of the Boston Police Department approach you or have a conversation?
Yes, I believe, I don't remember the officer's name, but I believe it was the officer I just seen on camera with the red hair and the red mustache. He had approached me and asked me some questions about the incident. I had informed him that I did not know who that individual was, and that my doorman had been inside the building on premise the entire night, that they could go inside to check if they wanted.
Okay. And do you know what's the policy? Have you reviewed the policy on police cooperation with ownership? I believe Mr. Rosenblatt is here today. Have you done that?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And is that taught to all employees at the premises?
Could you elaborate on that question a little bit more, please? What is taught
The
specifically?
employees are told that they have to cooperate with Boston Police 100%.
Oh, yes, yes. We all are instructed to cooperate with law enforcement.
Okay. I have no further questions for Mr. DiGaetano. Unless the board has some, I do have one more witness. All right. Call Mr. Rosenblatt. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Would you introduce yourself to the board?
Dana Rosenblatt, owner of Solomon's Tap.
And your owner, and you weren't, that was a Monday night, so you weren't there on Monday, correct?
I was not there, no.
All right. And I just have you, can you just describe to the, after this incident, did you have discussions, investigation with Mr. DiGaetano?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the policy of cooperation with the Boston Police Department?
Always cooperate with police.
Okay. And to your knowledge, after the investigation, did any employee from Sullivan's commit an assault and or battery at the premises on February 3rd?
No, sir.
All right. I have no further questions for Mr. Rosenblatt.
Anything further, Attorney Ford, before we move to questions?
I think it was a little bit. I have no doubt. I think it was probably busy night on the street. Like the police doing a great job. I think maybe in the harried situation, the end of the night, there was a miscommunication because my clients would never not cooperate. They just didn't have this guy's name and number. He wasn't an employee. He didn't belong there. He had already been removed and told not to be near the premises. So I would say, I think they did the right thing. I think maybe they could work on communication, a little bit more, because something seemed to have gotten lost in translation. I just asked the board to consider that as part of their deliberations.
Yeah, we will see if there are any questions at this time. Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Saxon, any questions?
Officer Goodwin,
Yes, sir.
what happened with the suspect? Did he just walk away when you were attending to the victim?
Yes, sir. So I told him I'd be back to talk to him because I wanted to make sure the victim was all right, and I moved towards the end of the street where the victim was. And I thought I'd seen him closer to Sullivan's Tap, but when I spoke with the management there, they did not know who he was.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Maybe Commissioner Saxon has other questions.
Yeah, just to confirm the uniform for security, Gaetano, are you wearing what you would normally wear?
Yeah, my camera's a little frozen, but can you see my shirt
Yeah.
right now?
I can see that. And
Yeah,
then,
so
What was the other guy wearing?
During the colder months,
Oh, yes, during.
the other
winter.
doorman was the man I'm sorry, miss, the individual who struck the person or the other employee?
Yeah, I forgot that it was winter. It was February. So what were you
So-
wearing in February?
If I have a moment to elaborate, we have these employee shirts with our logo on them, but it's a black hoodie. So it's the same thing, just with longer sleeves and a black hoodie. All of our clothes have this logo on here so that way customers can identify us easily.
Got it. And to confirm, what was the suspect wearing?
Not this uniform. To be very honest, I don't recall specifically what he was wearing. I believe it was some type of vest, but it was not a Sullivan's hoodie or a Sullivan's t-shirt.
And to the officer, can you confirm?
Yes, ma'am. I'll confirm that he was wearing a Sullivan's Tap uniform.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions from the board? The board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 2, Guerra and Tambora LLC, doing business as Guerra and Tambora, located at 4014 Washington Street in Roslindale. Date of the incident, January 1st, 2025. Assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, knife. A person was cut or stabbed in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, Chapter 265, Section 15A. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Attorney Jennifer Allen on behalf of the licensee, and Felipe Duran, the owner, is also logged in.
Great, thank you. And I do see Mr. Duran. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
I believe Detective Cario is here.
Yes, I do see.
I see him. He's on mute there.
Yes, just ask you to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
How you doing? Detective Jeff Cario, the Boston Police, out of District E5.
Great, thank you for being with us, Detective Cario. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify this morning? Can you all please raise your right hand? And Mr. Duran, if you could please raise your right hand for us. Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Detective Cario. If you could please read the police report into the record for the board.
Okay, so about 10:05 p.m. on Wednesday, January 1st of 2025, Officer Douglas and Robertson in the Echo 202 Frank responded to a radio call for a fight at 4014 Washington Street. The following units assisted: the Echo Tango 55 Frank Taylor, the Echo 626 Frank Guillem, the Echo 103 Frank Acosta, the Echo 417 Frank McCarthy, the Echo 811 Brendan McIntyre, the Echo 810 myself, the Echo 881 Lieutenant Detective Kern, and the Echo 908 Sergeant Quiles. Upon arrival, officers observed a male, later identified as Mr. Manuel Lara Diaz, bleeding heavily from his left hand and left elbow. Mr. Lara Diaz was observed trying to enter a 2008 Chevy Malibu with a mass reg of 3 Golf Papa X-Ray 72 in front of 4048 Wash. Officers observed the vehicle halfway in the bike lane and street, which was causing an unsafe road hazard. Officers were unable to obtain a story of Mr. Lara Diaz's injuries due to a language barrier. Boston EMS A-17 arrived on scene and transported Mr. Lara Diaz to Beth Israel for further medical treatment. Officers made their way to Guerra and Tambora, located at 4014 Wash. Officers spoke to the owner of the restaurant, Mr. Felipe Duran. Mr. Duran stated there was an altercation in the restaurant between 2 unidentified male individuals. Mr. Duran stated all parties were escorted outside, where further argument erupted between more unidentified parties. Mr. Duran stated during the argument, a male later identified as Mr. Lara Diaz brandished a knife and attempted to stab multiple unidentified people before he was taken to the ground and disarmed. Mr. Duran was able to show officers video of the incident on his cell phone. In the video, there are multiple individuals appear to be arguing in front of the restaurant. A male matching Mr. Lara Diaz's description appears to reach into his pants pocket, brandish what appears to be a knife in his right hand. The video then shows Mr. Lara Diaz making a swinging motion with the knife in his hand at Mr. Victor Lara Brea, who is an employee of the restaurant. The video then shows Mr. Lara Diaz make a swinging motion with the knife in a hand at victim number 2, who was an unidentified male wearing a gray sweatshirt, black jean, and blue sneakers. The video then shows Mr. Lara Diaz make multiple swinging motions with a knife in hand At victim number 3, another unidentified male with a ponytail, white t-shirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers. The video then shows victim number 4, another unidentified male wearing red shirt, blue jeans, and white and black sneakers approach Mr. Lara Diaz in an attempt to disarm him and bring him to the ground. The video shows victim number 3 punch the suspect and victim number 2 kick Mr. Lara Diaz in the head. All parties eventually separate. Officers did not observe any injuries to Mr. Lara Bria. Officers observed blood in front of the restaurants as well as leading up to Mr. Lara Diaz's vehicle. Officers were unable to locate any knife on the scene. E5 detectives arrived and documented the scene. Sergeant Quiles, the Echo 908, issued a license premise violation 005084 to Guida and Tambora per the Echo 908. Mr. Lara Diaz's vehicle was towed for safekeeping by Stanley. The tow line was notified. Mr. Lara Diaz was placed under arrest at the Beth Israel Hospital for assault and battery with a deadly weapon.
Thank you very much, Attorney Allen. Would you like to address the alleged incident?
Thank you. Thank you, Detective Cario. Just a few questions. When you arrived on the scene, were you there to encounter Mr. Lara Diaz?
So when I got on scene, he was in the, if I recall, back of the ambulance, and I tried to speak with him, but due to his language barrier, I couldn't really get a statement at that time.
Okay. And he was down the road, correct? He wasn't at the restaurant Gara and Tambora, correct?
Yeah, he was, I can't remember exactly how far up, but yeah, he was a little bit up the street from there.
Okay.
In the ambulance.
Were you able, did you go to the restaurant after to Gara and Tambora at any point?
Yes, so we spoke with some employees, the victim who was the bouncer, and another 2 or 3 employees kind of in the front foyer of the restaurant.
Okay. And did the security guard and Mr. Duran and anybody, did everybody cooperate with you and all the other officers?
They did.
Okay.
They provided video. They were very cooperative.
Okay. Thank you. No other questions. Thank you, Detective. And then I'd like to call Mr. Duran. Felipe, what is your role at Gara and Tambora?
I'm the good morning, members of this board. My name is Felipe Duran. I'm basically the owner and manager of the restaurant. It's called Guida Tambora Restaurant.
Okay. And were you there on January 1st that night?
Yes.
Okay. And did you witness the incident with Mr. Lara Diaz and everything that had happened?
Yes.
Can you just, in your own words, tell us what happened?
Yeah, it was January 1st, basically like a busy day. 2 persons went into an argument, and basically our protocol is when 2 persons get into an argument, they need to be removed immediately. That's what we did. And to keep our picture safe, and we just remove them and keep them outside all the time. And I trust one of my employees to stay at the door, to not let any other person involved in the incident going back into the restaurant. And after that, some of them, started like a small argument outside, and they started talking. But suddenly, one of the person just pull apparently what is a knife and start swinging to everybody. It was a little bit confused at the time, but we just tried to get control of the situation to try to disarm the guy and all that. But it was a little bit confused at the moment because he just started swinging to everyone, and we just want to keep everything under control. And that was it. It was a true story. It wasn't a long story because we was a little bit confused at the time, but we just trying to keep everything safe. Well, everybody inside the restaurant safe.
And did you call the police or somebody else?
No, I did. I called the police immediately.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I don't know if anybody from the board has any questions before I finish.
If there's anything further you'd like to add before we move to questions.
Perfect. So as you heard from Mr. Duran, and I know I sent over some of the videos from that night, which show the exterior of the building and the restaurant. The patrons were escorted out from the alteration immediately. They were removed from the restaurant and they were not allowed back in the restaurant. You will see in those videos that there's security trying to diffuse the altercation for a few minutes. And when you are looking at the videos, you'll see in the top corner that there's a timestamp. So you'll see that this happens just over a few minutes, but it looks like that the altercation is being diffused. There's security out there. Security does not allow anybody in. They appear to be dispersing. And then all of a sudden, unexpectedly, the person, Mr. Lara Diaz, appears to pull the knife and swing at multiple people. You'll see him, he's tackled to the ground and subdued. And you also see Mr. Duran outside and he's on the phone and he called the police immediately. I know that he cooperated the whole time. The security was also still at the door and there's an exterior door and a vestibule door in between that nobody else was allowed back into the restaurant for the safety of their patrons. This was an unfortunate and unforeseen event, but with Mr. Duran and his security reacting so quickly and immediately to the situation, and with the police and cooperating, if you have any other questions, thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Allen. We'll see if there are any questions at this time. Commissioner Kern.
Okay, Attorney Allen, first of all, I don't know if we've spoken to you about this in regard to this premises, but we now expect videos to come earlier than at the last minute. In receiving the videos and getting them into our files, like I wasn't able to watch the videos beforehand. I've been trying to look over them now, but it's definitely too late. We need them earlier.
Yes, and I will make sure. I apologize for that because the videos were so long that I actually had to have my computer company try to put them into the zip or the OneDrive, and we had them on WhatsApp. So I do apologize, and I will make sure we do that early for any going forward.
Okay. Just I wanted to notify. We're going to be docketing these advisories, so you know if it happens again, we'll know that we've talked about this.
Yes.
So regarding the assailant, he, from what I can tell, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't been able to watch the video straight through, but if you recall, you sent video 1, 2, 3. I can see him on video 1, and then he goes back inside, and then he's back out. He comes back outside during video 2. Do I have that correct?
So you're not able, there is, and Felipe can speak about this, and I could send a picture of the front of the restaurant, but there is a vestibule inside where they're not allowed back into there's another door before you can even get into the restaurant. So that's where the security was, that they were not allowing anybody back into the restaurant. There's like an exterior with glass. So there's 2 doors.
Okay, so the gentleman with the knife had a white hat on, right? It looks in the video, it's a white hat.
Yes, I think a white shirt, and Felipe can speak more on that.
Yeah.
Okay. But he disappears from video 1. Where does he go? Do you know?
I think he
Yeah.
tried to go ahead, Felipe.
Yeah, I think the guy at one point just went around the restaurant. I mean, for one side that we don't have any camera on it, we just installed another camera like on Friday because that's what I
Yeah, I think I actually just caught him going around the corner at the far end of the video to the right.
yeah, and we didn't have any camera on that driveway. We just installed one on Friday.
I'm just trying to go through this video right now. But it saw him coming back out of the restaurant again in video 2.
So that's the first door where he was stopped and then kicked back out from that little waiting area vestibule because there was the one security guard outside. So he was not allowed back into the front door of the restaurant, but there was that vestibule. So he went in and then was kicked back out.
Okay.
I'm happy to send a picture of like the outside of the building.
I think I'm seeing it now at 10:03:43. He's coming back out the vestibule, so I don't know I'll have to go back and see when he made that attempt to go in, how long that took. What was your capacity that night? And tell me about your staffing, security and just other staffing.
Right, that day it was 1st of July, and we were on capacity that day. But people just started leaving the restaurant at that night. But I think it was like 84 people inside the place at that time. And
Okay.
I usually, as I said, I mean, we have like a policy, like everybody who cause any, or everybody who get into an argument need to be removed from the outside. You need to be removed from the restaurant immediately. That's our policy. I mean, that we usually implement that every time.
Yeah. Tell me about your staff that night, security and otherwise.
We usually have like extra security for that day, but
But yeah, exactly. It's particular to this moment. Who was on staff? Who was your security?
one day was Victor Laras, who was one of the guy who was this guy who was trying to stab, even though he was one of the person who wanted to dissolve the incident and try to get everybody home safe, and he just tried to swing in at this one of our employees. At the time, we have like a Victor Laras and we have another security at the time outside, just trying to dissolve the incident, like try to tell them, hey, you going down. I mean, you need to go home. I mean, go home safely, that. But we have like a full security at the time. One of them was at the door, one of them was inside the restaurant, and two of them was outside of the restaurant.
Okay, so I'll see two security people dealing with this altercation.
Yep.
Okay, I'm only clocking one of them, the guy with he has kind of like a black bucket hat on.
Yeah, we have another guy who usually, he basically just the guy who Lee as a security Lee. He doesn't have any. He just have the logo of the restaurant. He doesn't.
Any other identifying that I can see who he is?
He's if you take a look at one of the video, he's one of the guy who is like to be running from the guy. He just seen closer to the glass. I mean, he just trying to avoid the guy because allegedly he was having a knife on his hand and just trying to stab him, even though he's not a part of the situation. He just trying to
think
stop the situation.
he was the one in all of the black, correct? But without the security on his back, but the full black sweatshirt and black pants.
Does he have a baseball hat on?
I think so. I need to take a look at the video, but I think so, yeah.
Yeah, if you could let us know, like just get back to us. If he has a colored cap on, we could clock that. It's just hard to see, so I want to know who we're.
He's not the one with the red shirt and the red baseball hat.
Yeah, he's wearing dark clothing though, you know that, right?
Yes, all the whole black, and he's a taller gentleman. I think he towers over everybody else.
He does, and he has a white line down the side of his pants.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so just I think the only thing I'm still curious about is the assailant. And I haven't watched all the videos. I'm gonna have to, we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to watch them on my own. But I think we do see him go around the edge of the building, but I don't see him come back and make his way through back that door. Could he have gone all the way around the building or somewhere around the side of the building and got in that way?
No, he just went around the building and went and came back. I mean, the same way he went. And that's what we saw.
So I see him go around that corner. And the next time I see him so far is him coming out of the vestibule. But I don't see him like making an attempt to go back into the vestibule.
I have to take a look at the video.
Can you give us a written description of that as well?
Yeah, definitely.
We can follow it, but as of right now, not being able to, watch the video closely all the way through, those are all the questions I have now. I'm gonna have to watch on my own. So thank you.
And we're happy to answer any other questions that I can send all the information and any additional videos Felipe has, and then we can respond with any other questions or written statements or come back.
So the questions the ones I have here, we're at hearing is, when does the assailant get back? How did he get back into the vestibule for where I can see him leaving the vestibule?
Okay.
And then the other one would be, and Commissioner Saxon seems to have dialed this down. about the other worker, identifying information. So if you say, oh yeah, he has a colored baseball cap, it's blue, it's red, whatever, you can tell us that. But she clocked him having the stripe down the side of his pants. So I think we'll might be able to figure it out. But if you want to give it any detail you can give us would be helpful.
No problem. And it could have been something where maybe a few seconds, because we were having an issue with the length of the videos and whatnot and being able to send them, that something could have gotten lost. So we can piece that together or send a few others.
Commissioner Saxon, do you have any questions?
Not at the moment. Yeah. Well, we probably have questions later.
Attorney Allen, sorry.
No.
When I was watching one of the videos, I did notice a point where it seemed to freeze and then we lost some time. Did you notice that too? It seems like you might have noticed that.
So I noticed it, but when I clicked, at least from my computer, when I hit to go play it again, it then started back up. And I don't know, and I thought it was just maybe my computer freezing, but it did freeze and you can hear the people talking. But then when I clicked on the little button down at the bottom and hit play again, then it continued again.
Oh, okay. So in video one at 10:01:44, it seems to freeze. It seems to stay on 10:01:44 for a while. And the next time action picks up, is like 10:02:05. So if you want to get the fill in for that,
We'll try to work that out. Yes.
because that might be the time that the assailant makes his way back from the corner to the vestibule.
Yep.
I don't know.
That down.
Okay.
Do you have any pat downs or wanding or anything to catch metal?
Basically, we have like a this type of day, like it's a busy day. We usually trying to search everyone who go into the restaurant after certain hour, even those with continue operating as a restaurant. Kitchens stay open all day, all night long. But we're trying to implement that. I mean, those busy day. I mean, to avoid any incident, which we did that day. I mean, I guess we understand that the guy who might have something, that the time he went around the restaurant, he might get something up there and came back with it, because we're 100% sure that he did not went into the restaurant with knife or anything, probably to be a weapon or something.
Any further questions at this time?
Could I add something, sir?
You may.
So initially when we went into the foyer, like I said, Felipe was cooperative and showed us that video that right then, so we could kind of get a grasp of what was going on. But since then I went back and I requested video because the trial hasn't come up yet. And I just needed the full video for on our end. And I haven't got them yet. So I was wondering if I don't know if you guys have the full video. Like I said, I think it was Felipe's mother. I left my email address there a couple times and still haven't received the whole video. So I'm wondering if someone could maybe email me that, or Mr. Durant can email me that whole video to my department email for my trial.
Attorney,
is that possible?
Attorney Allen, you can get that done, right?
We can get that over.
Okay.
Thank you. And otherwise, Detective Cario, if not, we were happy to provide anything that we've been given as well.
Should I give her my email now?
I was just going to ask, could I just get that now, or your phone number or something?
Sure. Jeff, JEFF dot Cario, CARRIO.
Yep.
At pd.boston.gov.
Perfect. I'll shoot you an email
Thank you.
so you have my information too.
Great. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. And as requested, Attorney Allen, if there is a way to point out timestamps when the suspect re-enters the vestibule, also to point out any identifying characteristics of the additional security staff, and a way to smooth out or provide video of any of the kind of glitches or gaps or freezes in the video that we have.
Yep, we'll get it over. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there are no further questions, then the board will take this under advisement for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling item number 3, Boston Inn 4 LLC, doing business as A.T. O'Keefe's, located at 911 Boylston Street. Date of the incident, December 7th, 2024. Assault and battery, employee on patron, in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Chapter 265, Section 13A. Who is present on behalf of the licensee?
Attorney Tyler Hensler on behalf of A.T. O'Keefe's, and joining me is Jared Case, Darius Watford, and Michael Covington.
Great.
Jared and Darius are on the same screen.
Sorry, who is on the same screen? I see the two individuals you mentioned on separate screens. Oh, Mr.
Case and Mr. Watford are there, and Mr. Covington should be on a different screen.
Perfect, I do see all three. Thank you. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
I see Officer Timothy Croker's here.
He just entered from the waiting room. Officer Croker, are you with us?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I got disconnected.
No worries. I'm going to ask you to start your video so we can swear you in.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other individuals with firsthand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify? Can you all please raise your right hand? Yep. Mr. Case and Mr. Watford, if you could raise your right hand as well. Thank you very much. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Officer Croak, if you could please read the police report into the record for the board.
Yep. About 2:22 p.m. on Saturday, 12/7/24, Officers Croak and Guarini assigned to the Delta 105 days response to a radio call for assault and battery in progress outside of A.T. O'Keefe's at 911 Boylston Street, Boston. Upon arrival, officers were met with Berkeley PD officers who were on scene, along with the reporting party and an employee of O'Keefe's. Officers spoke with the employee of O'Keefe's, identified as Darius Watford, who was a bartender at the restaurant, and stated a customer was causing a scene and making inappropriate comments to other patrons. Darius informed officers that he then asked the customer, later identified as Parsa Fulad Band, to leave as he was causing a disturbance. Darius stated that he then escorted the customer out of the bar, and words were exchanged between the two. Darius informed officers outside the restaurant the customer began to walk away, but then stopped and stepped towards him, at which point he then open hand slapped the customer. Officers also spoke with the reporting party, Parsa Fulad Band, who stated that he was a customer at O'Keefe's and was assaulted by the bartender. Officers observed that Fulad Band had a heavy odor of alcohol emanating from his breath and was unsteady on his feet as he stumbled on one occasion and was instructed to lean against the building to maintain his balance. Fulad Band stated that he was drinking earlier at a bar down the street and came to O'Keefe's because he used to be a regular. Fulad Band stated he was making friends at the bar, having good conversation when he went outside to smoke and go down to the street to the BFD firehouse on Boylston Street. He stated that he wanted to ask BFD to volunteer his service and donate to their donation booth outside, but didn't have cash, so he left his credit card in the booth. Fulad Band said that when he returned to the bar, he was asked to leave because his credit card got declined. And once outside the bar, the bartender slapped him in the face, and he called 911. Officers did notice slight redness to the left side of Fulad Band's face. Officers asked Fulad Band if he would like an ambulance to respond, which he declined. Fulad Band mentioned to officers of other instances where his levels of intoxication have caused him trouble in the past, and that he is bipolar. Delta 905 Sergeant Hardy responded to the scene for a license premise check, Section 35, and issued citation number 021677 for employee on patron.
Thank you, Officer Croak. Attorney Hensler, would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, just a couple questions for Officer Croak. Officer Croak, were the staff cooperative?
Yes, he was very cooperative.
Okay, and the man, Parsa Fulad Band, Was he exhibiting any signs of intoxication at the time that he spoke to police?
Yes.
Specifically, what signs?
He was unsteady on his feet. He had a heavy odor of alcohol emanating from his breath. We had to, I believe it was multiple times, tell him to continue to lean against the building just so that he didn't fall down.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. I'll now ask some questions of Darius Watford. Darius, can you state your name for the record?
My name is Darius Watford.
And what is your position at AT O'Keefe's?
I'm a bartender.
And were you working on that day, December 7th, 2024?
Yes, I was.
And did you see this man, Parsa Fuladband, come into the establishment?
Yes, I did see him enter his house.
Okay. Did he seem intoxicated?
Yes.
Did you serve him any alcohol?
No, I didn't serve him any alcohol. I offered him some water and maybe to get some food. Aside from that, he was clearly intoxicated, so.
Okay. So he ate some food while he was there, though?
He got food to go.
Okay. Did he try to order a drink?
Yes.
Okay. And did you have to deny him service?
Yes.
Okay. The police report states that he was acting inappropriately towards guests. What was he doing?
Initially he was fairly like normal. And then at some point out of nowhere, he kind of just got into an argument with a customer and his wife sitting next to him. I believe the guy was like a veteran of some sort, and they were going over just random topics. And so at some point in which it got I don't know, out of hand.
Okay. Is that when you asked him to leave?
Yes.
Okay. And then after he left, did he try to re-enter after leaving?
Yeah, the initial sort of kick out, he left, at which point he was gone for, I'd say, a few minutes, like a minute and a half or so. And then he came back, and then I had to escort him out again. And then at that point, I kind of like, stayed at the door to make sure he didn't come back, to which he did.
Okay, so when he came back that last time, did you have to escort him outside the premises?
No, at that point, I just made sure he didn't come back into the establishment and sort of stood at the door as he was walking by and kind of like bickering, making comments.
Okay. Didn't you have him outside at one point? Did you have to go outside to make sure that he stayed out of the premises?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And did he become aggressive once outside?
Yes.
Okay. Did he get into your personal space?
Yes.
What does aggressive mean?
Well, he was that's the way he was speaking towards me. Kind of called me a slur, and then kind of was like aggressively sort of coming at, like walking towards me.
Okay. So what did you do then?
At that point, I just kind of tried to keep him out of my personal space, which I like extended my arm and pushed him a little bit. At that point, I believe he like stumbled over. There's like kind of a tree in front of our place, to which he like, I guess, stumbled over that, fell over the curb.
Okay, so you didn't push him with a lot of force or try to knock him down?
No, I just kind of wanted to keep him away from me and kind of extended my arm in front.
Okay, but he ended up falling down because
he was pretty inebriated, and I think like at that point kind of was losing his balance, as like the officer was stating before. He had to keep sort of telling him, helping him stand up. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have, Darius. I will now ask some questions of Michael Covington. Michael, can you please state your name for the record?
Morning, I'm Michael Covington.
And Michael, what is your profession?
I'm an executive for a biotechnology company.
Okay, do you live in the neighborhood?
I do live in the neighborhood.
Okay, would you consider yourself a regular at AT O'Keefe's?
Yes, it's my neighborhood pub.
Okay. And were you there on the day of December 7th, 2024?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to witness the events that are the subject of that police report that we just heard read into the record?
Yes, I was able to, or I did witness those events.
Okay. In your own words, can you tell me what happened?
Yeah, so the gentleman comes into the bar, and he was already drunk. That was obvious. He sits down, and really starts kind of, get some food, but then really is kind of loud and annoying. He was boasting about how wealthy he was, and it was just, very loud and annoying. Eventually, he leaves because he's not getting served. And then he comes back in again, at which point Darius, instructs him to leave again. And then the way I recollected it is he actually came in a third time, at which point Darius got from out of the bar and escorted the gentleman outside.
Okay. And during the time when this man was inside the bar, did you see him, acting inappropriate towards other customers?
What I witnessed was, the people he was talking to really didn't want him, interacting with them. And like I said, he was very loud and annoying. And what I recollected is he just kept on talking about how wealthy he was and how much money he had.
Okay. And during the time that he was inside, he repeatedly tried to get a drink, but the bar staff never served him, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And after the bartender, Darius, just escorted him out of the bar, as you said, what happened then?
So Darius escorts him out of the bar, and then I see him, getting really up and close in Darius's, space, personal space, almost like face to face with him, and like shouting at Darius. At which point I saw Darius, just kind of push him away, and I saw him then trip and kind of fall over the curb.
Okay. So did you see Darius strike the man?
No, I saw him push him away. He fell over the curb, and I did see after he fell over the curb, he could not get himself to stand back up. It took him, a lot of effort to be able to try to stand back up.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add, Mr. Covington?
No.
All right. Thank you very much. So the bartender working at AT O'Keefe's on the day of this incident, December 7th, 2024, Darius Watford, was acting in self-defense when he made contact with Parsa Fuladband. When Mr. Fuladband entered the establishment, we've heard he was already intoxicated. AT O'Keefe's then refused to serve him any alcohol and made sure he got some food. He then began acting inappropriately towards patrons, was asked to leave. He attempted 2 other times to re-enter the premises and was turned away each time. And upon the last time, Darius had to come out from around the bar and escort him outside. We heard evidence from a customer at the bar that night and Darius himself that the man then became aggressive and got into Darius's face. Darius then had to push him away in self-defense, and the man, being intoxicated, lost his balance and fell. The licensee believes that Darius handled this incident as best he could. Out of an abundance of caution and to better prepare staff for situations like this in the future, AT O'Keefe's had the entire staff recertified in TIPS training via an on-site training, proof of which we will submit to the board. This training had a focus on de-escalation techniques and strategies with live role-playing scenarios, situational awareness training, crowd management training, and techniques for dealing with difficult patrons. We heard in the police report that Fuladband was unsteady on his feet and smelled heavily of alcohol. He also told police that he has gotten into trouble due to his intoxication levels in the past. That seemed to be the case on this day, December 7th, 2024, as well. He told police that he was making friends with the other patrons at AT O'Keefe's. In reality, he was arguing and acting inappropriately to the other customers and was asked repeatedly to leave. He then initiated a confrontation. During this confrontation, Darius Watford acted in a defensive manner, and Mr. Fuladband fell due to his inability to stay on his feet. This behavior was not foreseeable. AT O'Keefe's tried to help this customer, and this incident does not rise to the level to warrant the finding of a violation, as they acted responsibly during both the incident as well as in the aftermath with their decision to pursue additional in-person training after the incident. With that, we are happy to take any questions. Thank you for the board's time.
Thank you. We'll see if there are any questions at this time. Commissioner Kern, Commissioner Saxon.
Attorney Hensler, not so much as a question as an advisory. As you, I'm sure you know, you weren't written up for failure to call police, but this is just, I want you to bring it to your client's attention. You know, if you're telling us that you have a situation where you struck a patron, but albeit you're claiming self-defense, I think it would be best practice to have you guys be the ones who have made the call to police. You know, you're saying that this strike was justified, and you know, I'm hearing that, but just the circumstances, I don't love that it's the patron who's calling the police. I think even for your own protection, to cover yourselves, this you should have picked up and called the police here. Obviously not at issue here today, but just for the future.
I agree. Jared, please make note of that.
Yes, I will. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I definitely want to echo that. I just want to understand the construction of the bar itself. The patron can just walk in. You don't have someone at the door who can just prevent someone like him from coming in the first place.
No, sorry.
No, you're good. Keep in mind, this was at 2:22 p.m.
Correct.
Not, you know, typically a time that you would have a bouncer or a security at the door.
Right. And like part of the training, we did review that in these types of situations to enforce that it is our responsibility to call the police.
Yeah, just so you know, 911 will you just tell them what's going on. 911 will triage it. You know, if this guy walks away and you don't see him again, you can always call them off. But you know, you shouldn't feel hesitant to call 911. It's not as big a deal as some people feel. You know, oh, I'm calling 911. It's this big emergency. No, you know, just, hey, I'm at this restaurant. This is what just happened. You know, and they'll triage it. So you don't have to worry about, you know, crying wolf or anything like that.
Understood.
Any further questions from the board regarding this incident? Board will take this under advisement. Attorney Hensler, please do forward the details of that training that you mentioned.
We will.
And with that, the board will take this under advisement. Item number 4 concerns the same licensee, Boston N4 LLC, doing business as AT O'Keefe's, located at 911 Boylston Street. Date of this incident, March 25th, 2025. Patrons drinking on public way in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.09D. Attorney Hensler, I'm assuming you are representing on this item as well?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. And you have with you the same witnesses?
Yes. Darius likely will not be needed. Michael Covington will not be needed, but Jared might be needed.
Thank you. And who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Detective Hernandez, I believe it's here.
Detective Gallagher, Detective Hernandez, unable to read this.
I apologize. I'm here. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Detective Hernandez. Are there any other individuals with first-hand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify?
Detective William Gallagher, if need be.
Thank you. Can you all please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you, Detective Hernandez. If you could please read the report into the record for the board.
Good morning. I'm going to read a report that I wrote on Tuesday, March 25th, 2025. Sergeant Detective William Gallagher and Detective Eddie Hernandez, assigned to the BPD licensed premises, conducted a licensed premise inspection of O'Keefe's Pub. While walking up to the front door, detective observed a patron standing in front of the establishment's front door drinking a beer. Detectives informed one of the bartenders that they had a patron outside drinking a pint glass of beer. The bartender immediately went outside and had the customer come back inside. Detectives spoke to the person in charge, Miss Jordan Fernand, who stated that she had spoken to the group of patrons several times. She further stated that the group was not from the United States and were told to stay inside with the alcohol when they went out to smoke. As a result, the detectives discovered. Sergeant Detective Gallagher issued license plate inspection notice 020823 for patron served drinking alcohol in a public way. Ms. Ferdinand signed for an accepted notice. That's all.
Thank you, Attorney Hensler. Would you like to address the alleged incident?
Yes, I have no questions for the police. Just a brief statement. As the police report stated, the patron that was outside drinking on the public way that night were international tourists. AT O'Keefe's understandably gets many visitors from out of the country due to its location in the heart of Boston's Back Bay, right on Boylston Street, as well as its reputation for being an authentic Irish bar. Staff had spoken to this group of patrons several times that night, both about having to go outside to smoke and that they could not bring any alcohol inside when they did so. Regardless, one of them was able to sneak a beer outside. And since the date of that incident, the licensee has alerted all of the staff to be extra vigilant for anyone trying to bring drinks out of the premises. And they will be posting signage clearly informing any visitors, whether foreign or not, that alcohol is not allowed outside of the building in the public way at any time. Again, this is not foreseeable that a customer who was told directly not to take drinks outside would sneak a beer out onto the sidewalk and stand 3 feet away from the entrance and drink it. But rest assured that AT O'Keefe's will do its best to make sure that it does not happen again. With that, we're happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Curran. Commissioner Saxon, any questions?
I guess I would steal Commissioner Saxon's question about a door person at this time, because this is in the evening. So do you have a door person normally? I know it's a Tuesday, so what was the capacity situation and what was your staffing situation?
Jared, can you answer that for me?
Sure. Tuesday, so typically we have door staff on foreseeable busier days. That being if there are large events in the city, if there's a parade, if there's the marathon, anything like that. Typically, if we do have staff, those are going to be on Fridays or Saturdays and or Sunday, depending again whether or not there is any large events going on, and we can anticipate the volume of business, as well as being that it's a Tuesday, that is not one of these busy days of doing business. So therefore, it hasn't historically been needed. So we don't typically have door people during the weekday outside of Friday, Saturday.
Okay, so how many people were you there that night?
I was not.
Okay, is anyone here that was there?
Jordan, were you here? Yeah, Jordan Ferdinand.
Yep. Jordan, you'll have to swear in.
Yep.
Thank you. If you could please identify yourself for the board.
Jordan Fernand, General Manager at AT O'Keefe's.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Fernand, for being with us. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Great. You may provide a testimony.
So, Mr. Fernand, how many people were in the bar and what's your capacity? So how full were you?
We're at 40. Our capacity is at 93 right now.
About half full, approximately?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the staffing? I know you were there and a female was there, right?
Yeah, it was me, Carly Frickmeyer, and John Stewart, or however you pronounce it. So 2 bartenders and me on the floor.
All right. And how long was this ongoing miscommunication, as it were, going on with this group?
Pretty much the whole night. I was keeping an eye on them because I knew they were European. They were smoking a lot of cigarettes, going in and out, and multiple of them were asking about drinks outside and if they could leave, smoke cigarettes. And I told them no, and the fact that multiple of them were asking me the same questions, that they were not relaying what I told them. There's no bring your beer out to have a cigarette. You're more than welcome to leave and have a cigarette, but you can't leave with drinks. And I believe the gentleman put the beer, he held it in his jacket and kind of just waltzed out with it,
Okay. So, I mean, was there any discussion amongst the staff that you got to kind of watch them at the door? Did you think they were going to defy? It sounded like they were defying, that's why I'm asking, because it seemed like this was going on for a while. And they're like literally defying your instructions about what is okay and what's not. Did you like think like, oh, one of us basically just has to watch them like a hawk?
Yes, I informed both bartenders to keep an eye on them, and I was keeping an eye on them myself. And after the second person who asked me about drinking outside with a cigarette. Yeah.
Okay. Question for BPD. Did you guys either Detective Hernandez, Sergeant Gallagher, how long did you observe this guy out? Like he was out on the curb, right? All the way across the sidewalk?
No, he was right out in front of the door. We were there to notice for the prior hearing. And when we got out of the car, we parked at the curb and he was literally 5 feet outside the door. And like you said, it was a Tuesday night. There wasn't anyone at the door. So, I mean, you could just walk right out. And that's probably what this guy did.
Okay. And any recollection about how long you saw this going on for? Like a minute, or like you just walk straight up and kind of confront him right away?
Walked straight up, confronted him, grabbed the manager up, what we thought was the manager, and informed her of the situation, and she brought him back in.
And was he just casually open, no care in the world, just lifting his drink to his face, no problem?
Like it was completely normal.
Okay. All right, I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Look.
I don't have anything additional. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, the board will take this under advisement as well. Calling item number 5, which concerns the same licensee once again, Boston Inn 4 LLC, doing business as A.T. O'Keefe's at 911 Boylston Street. Date of this incident, April 21st, 2025, overcrowding, 159 mechanical count, capacity 93, in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 64, and Board's Rule 1.03J and 1.06A and F. Attorney Hensler, I'm assuming you'll be taking this once again.
Yes, and Jared Case, in case there's questions.
Thank you. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Again, Detective Hernandez.
Are there any other individuals with first-hand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify?
Sergeant Gallagher.
Thank you. You have all been previously sworn. Detective Hernandez, if you could please read the report into the record for the board.
Morning. Once again, I'll be reading from the report which I wrote on Monday, April 21st, 2025. Lieutenant Detective Adrian Choi, Sergeant Detective William Gallagher, and Detective Eddie Hernandez assigned to the BPD licensed premises conducted a licensed premise inspection of O'Keefe's. As detectives walked into the establishment, they reviewed the licenses, the permits of the establishment. Detectives learned the capacity for the premises set a total of 93 persons. Detectives performed the mechanical count of the establishment, discovered the actual number of persons located in the premise was 159. Detectives brought this matter to the attention of the person in charge, Mr. Jared Case. Mr. Case stated that he would bring the establishment into compliance. As a result of what detectives discovered, Sergeant Detective Gallagher issued license premise inspection notice 020044 for overcrowding, capacity 93, police count 159. Mr. Case signed for and accepted the notice. That's all.
Thank you very much, Attorney Hensler.
I have no questions for police. Again, a brief presentation. As the board might be aware, this location used to be McGreevy's, which had a capacity, I'm told, of 318. A.T. O'Keefe's took over this space in 2022, and in the initial permitting of A.T. O'Keefe's, one capacity certificate was decreased to 93, which is the permit, the place of assembly permit. Despite the assembly permit listing a capacity of 93 persons, the certificate of inspection still currently states a maximum capacity of 318. To add to the confusion, typically the max capacity number listed on the certificate of inspection is determined to be whichever of the numbers calculated by the Boston Fire Department and ISD is the lowest. But in this case, the certificate of inspection states the max capacity is 318. To be clear, the license has renewed this license with the capacity of 93 each year, and management is well aware of the 93 person capacity, and they strive to comply with it at all times. The explanation I just gave is not an excuse, but it's offered to explain to the board that there are two documents on site, the certificate of inspection and the place of assembly, that state two very different capacity numbers. On the date of this incident, a less senior manager looked at these conflicting capacity numbers and just made the decision to rely upon the larger. That's why they had not over 93 persons on the premises on this date. Business at AT O'Keefe's has been good since opening, but rarely do they see maximum capacity. But this maximum capacity has been happening more and more recently. And they immediately following this incident realized it was time to make a change, and they have engaged the services of a permitting expert, E.R. Swartz Consulting, to work with ISD to get a corrected maximum capacity. They are confident that they will be granted a larger capacity, seeing as their predecessor had a capacity of 318, and they have not made any substantial changes to the premises. There's also, clearly room for more patrons inside, 300 patrons inside, whatever it is. But that being said, the licensee would like to apologize for the confusion and for allowing an overcrowding incident on April 21st of this year. And while they look forward to working with ISD to increase the capacity in the coming months, they have instructed all managers and staff, again, that 93 persons is the absolute maximum capacity in the meantime, so that this will not happen again. And with that, we're happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see if there are any questions from the board at this time.
I have no questions.
None for me, thank you.
Thank you. With that, the board will take this matter under advisement as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And calling item number 6, Mala Town Alston LLC, doing business as Mala Town, located at 194 Harvard Ave in Alston. Date of the incident, March 20th, 2025. Premise open after posted 11 p.m. closing hour in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 9, and a blocked fire exit in violation of Mass General Laws, Chapter 140, Section 9, and Board's Rule 1.06a. Who's present on behalf of the licensee? Oh, hang on. Yep, you're on mute right now. I've just asked you to unmute. If you could just identify yourselves for the board.
I'm Jie And I'll be his translator.
Thank you. If you could just please state your name for the record.
I'm Joanne
And last name?
Chen, Chen.
Thank you, Mr. Wu and Ms. Chen. Who is present on behalf of the Boston Police Department?
Sergeant Detective William Gallagher.
Or any other individuals of first-hand knowledge of the alleged incident who wish to testify?
Dr. Hernandez if needed.
Thank you very much. Can you all please raise your right hand? Thank you. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. Sergeant Detective Gallagher, if you could please read the report into the record for the board.
Yes, good morning. On 3/20/2025 at about 11:15 p.m., Sergeant Detective William Gallagher, Detective Eddie Hernandez, assigned to licensed premise unit, responded to Mala Town for reports that the premise was staying open past its 11 p.m. closing hour. As detectives sat across the street, they observed patrons entering and exiting with orders of food at 11:15 p.m. In addition, the neon open sign was still illuminated. As detectives approached the front door, they observed the posted sign with a closing hour of 12:30 a.m. listed. Inside the premise, detectives sought out the manager, Mr. Jie Wu, who also stated that they were open to 12:30 a.m. Detectives informed Mr. Wu that his current common victual license has 11 p.m. closing hour. In addition, detectives observed the fire exit to be blocked by chairs and locked, prohibiting its use in case of emergency. Upon review of the premises licenses, detectives failed to see a current City of Boston entertainment license for non-live entertainment. As a result of what was observed, Sergeant Gallagher issued license premise inspection notice number 021270 to Mala Town for blocked fire exit, premise open after post at 11 p.m. closing, with no posted entertainment license. Mr. Jie Wu signed for and accepted the notice. Detectives informed Mr. Wu that he had to close his premise. I do have a picture here, sir, of it's black and white. It's a picture of the fire exit as we found it that night. So the door was locked and there were tables and chairs in front of it. Here's a better picture right here. You can see. And that's all I have.
Thank you, and we do have those photos as well. Mr. Wu, would you like to address the alleged incident?
你要说什么？那个消防通道。
消防通道，所以我们一直已经移掉了。
So we removed the chairs after like being notified of the violation. So now it's clear.
Thank you. Anything else you would like to add?
还有那个时间的话，就是我回到它是规定到11点，而且大家都想多上班，所以我就多开晚一点。
So for the time, we're not aware that our boss only set it to 11. And since people wanted to have more time hours for work, so we just extended. But after realizing that's also a violation, that we actually need to go through those processes, we started to file the paperwork with like changing the business time, and we're still in the process of that.
还有就是可能就希望我们开晚一点，因为他们很多撤销业的，像晚上点外卖这样，所以我们就开这么晚。
And whatever he said is included in what I said earlier.
Thank you. Then in that case, we'll see if there are any questions from the board at this time. Commissioner Curran, Commissioner Saxon.
I just want to confirm you're currently closing now at the proper time?
Yes, we close at 11. Still 11 since we haven't finished the process of the paperwork, like filing the changing of hours.
Okay. I'm looking at the photographs and like the chairs are up on the table. How were you operating on that evening at that time?
Could you rephrase that?
So the picture I'm seeing like through the front glass has chairs up on the table. So like you weren't operating as a sit down restaurant at that time. Is that correct?
What time is the photo?
It would be just after 11 p.m., 11:15 or thereabouts.
他说他看到11点多的时候椅子在桌子上，那你那时候是？
我们那个是做外卖，我们没有谈车的。
So at that time after 11?
11点以后。
After 11, they only do takeout, so that's why the chairs are on the desk.
Okay, and there's a door that another photograph. There's a door that chairs are in front of. What door is that?
他说椅子在门前面，是那个门是干嘛的？
那个就是客人进去的那个门，就客人。
椅子在门前面怎么会？
不，椅子在前面那个就是客人，他有的时候会找地方坐，就外卖的时候，然后会找地方坐，所以我们就摆了那个椅子在里面给客人坐。
So those chairs are for whoever is waiting for the takeout. So that's why we put the chairs there. And also we don't want the customers to go in from that door because we have two doors.
Side by side on Harvard Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and you never want them, is that door always blocked?
那是开着。
他说那个门是一直都是就是挡住的。
就之前的话，就是有的时候刚开始我们没挡住，后面的话就很多客人会站在那边，所以我们就放了椅子那边给客人坐。
So in the beginning, it was open, like there's no chairs there, but the customers will get confused, like which door they should enter, or they would try to exit out the other door, which we don't wish them to. So that's why we put the chairs there.
Okay, but now you know that there shouldn't be any chairs there and the door should be unlocked during business hours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all I have. Thank you.
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, then the board will take this matter under advisement as well. I know that you did submit a request or your application for later hours is in process right now. So thank you for starting that process with us. With that, the board will take this matter under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 7 will be continued to the next available hearing date. Those are all the items before the board this morning. The board will vote Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Notice has been posted to the city's website. That will adjourn this hearing. Thank you all and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.